This Week in League, Paul Gallen slams comparisons between Bronson Cherry and his drug cheating, claiming the 2011 Sharks would never use street-class roids in this age of peptides.
TikTok rules out becoming the Raiders' new Chinese sponsor after being appalled at the lack of dancing skill displayed during the Viking clap.
The West Tigers hold an irony session as the leakiest winger in club history complains about the leaks in the club.
Plus, we look ahead to all of the action for round 17 of the 2020 NRL season.
All that and more this week in League. Welcome to episode 366 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
How you doing, man?
Man, good to be back in the HQ.
Was it more than one in a row? I feel like it was like we was like one on, one off, one on. Like it wasn't.
We did a couple of remoties and then...
Yeah, but I feel like they were punctuated by in-person one, like because I was kind of like recovered that one time and then So, but yeah, no, it is good. No. I mean the remote stuff is. I must admit, it was almost like an impossibility back in like when the show started, or like even like of 5 years ago. Yeah, wasn't possible just with internet and connectivity and things like that. But now it works pretty fucking smooth. I'll be honest. So excuse me, but
other than that, life's beautiful. Fucking Penrith with 11 in a row.
Yep.
11.
Yep.
Club record.
Yep. It's nice to make little records and things like that along the way. Doesn't mean anything without the ring at the end though.
Certainly
because
doesn't.
You look back at you break all these club records and you're like, yeah, literally no one will remember that until next time the record's on the line.
Record's broken. That's it.
But it's nice. It's nice at the time.
And
you're
breaking records like of the 91 team.
Yeah. And
so you can break all the season records of that team you want.
Yep. Yeah, because they actually, And then the other ones they're talking about, the other records are always compared to, like 2003 or whatever. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
there was one I heard the other day that they're the only team. Them and like the 1960, I think it was 65 Manly team.
Okay.
As well as the 2002 Dogs, but they got done for fucking and being cheating cunts. To be this many games into a season and only have one loss.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Now, it's the age of Rona and there's all of this stuff, so I don't know whether that means like a percentage of the way through the season or how many games or whatever.
It may just be straight number of games.
Back in
1995 was had a pretty good run too.
Like 1965, they played 9 games a week and
or a season. It's like undefeated. News this week. We're not going to start off with This Week in Broncos this week. Things are starting to settle down there, but we'll fucking touch you. Don't worry about that. We've still got love for that fucking cunt circus. Believe me. The Tigers in decline again, which is a marvel of science. I would love to get fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson in and bring him in on this and say, look, how can something be constantly in a state of decline yet seemingly staying in a static position?
Well, it's all relative.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll allow me to ask, to answer on Mr. deGrasse Tyson's behalf, I would suggest that I give you the example of the universe. So the universe is constantly expanding.
Would you say the universe of talent in the NRL?
No, the universe.
It's constantly expanding.
The universe is constantly expanding. And we know this because we're not fuckhead religious anti-vaxxer flat earther cunts. And we understand.
Look, I just want to say, I don't want this to be like a 3-hour podcast. You can condense that down to one word, Victorian.
Correct. I've never been arrested.
We're not fucking Victorians.
Because I had an ultrasound in an hour.
I didn't watch that video. I saw all the shit around, and then I saw the sovereign fucking morons. Go, this is terrible. Arresting a pregnant woman who put a thing on Facebook, and
Apparently there were multiple warnings.
Yep.
And then they've shown up. and all they're there to do is execute a warrant.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a fucking warrant, and she's going, "Oh, how about I just take the post down?" Like, fucking no.
You had your fucking chance.
Yeah. Like, this isn't slagging off your boyfriend's ex-girlfriend and she threatens to bash you. These are fucking coppers. Like, fuck. But the universe is constantly expanding.
Mm-hmm.
And expanding into what? Is the question that most people ask.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is exactly. And so that is where I would put the West Tigers are pretty much the tip of the universe of decline.
Okay.
And that universe is constantly expanding. And so they can just continually be declining forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Now that's declining one way. But then on another plane of dimension, or another plane of reality, there's the comparisons between all the other clubs.
Sure.
And it's almost as if a rising tide lifts all ships. They can keep declining overall.
Yes.
But in comparison to the other teams, they remain a static ninth.
Sure. Sure. And thank you for that.
Mensa, I await your call.
I think, yeah, and they'll call you and it'll be like, hello, this is stepdad speaking. And hi, this is Mensa. But then, everything you just said, I award you 0 points. And may God have mercy on your soul. We're all dumber for having it.
Or will it get to next week and you'll be like, fuck, where's Jay? And then you'll get a fucking collect call and you'll be like, where are you? You sound European. And I'll be like, you'll never fucking believe this. I'm about to jack off into the Large Hadron Collider.
I love it. Like that's the goal. That's your peak benefit of having intelligence recognized is to have a license to jack off into the
How good would that be? You imagine your swimmers accelerated to near light speed.
What's that to match the speed of you reaching climax?
Exactly.
Some kind of universal parody.
But then it comes back, and because they travel faster and go forward slightly in time, they get back and whack you in your own ass.
I was going to say they leave as swimmers and be like they come back and they hit you in the back like someone threw a handful of peanuts at you.
But then that's what makes you come in the first place. So you're in this never-ending cycle.
Science. This week in science. I forget where we're up to. Oh yeah, Tigers in decline, of course. Michael Maguire's decision. So basically, we started off back in June with Benji Marshall being dropped suddenly after what was seemingly just a single bad performance. This created a divide between the coach and the players because, as you would expect, Benji at a club level, and because he seems like a top bloke as well.
Yep.
And as just that senior player,
yeah,
glue that keeps things, keeps the club together, kind of character that he would be.
Yep.
It's caused the divide between Madge and the players, and as a result, the Tigers have fallen into decline again. And that frustration from back in June when Marshall was axed culminated in an honesty session earlier this week, where Madge was told by his players they felt like they were walking on eggshells. Noffa says it was an honest discussion. That walking on eggshells came from within the group. The players were honest with each other and were up front. There's a lot of noise happening around the club, so we've just got to deal with it. And then he starts complaining about the leaks, as we just mentioned at the top of the show. But players saying that they felt like a bad performance, single bad performance, they'd be dropped. So, so players at the West Tigers don't feel like accountability as a concept applies to them. And then, in the very next breath, they wonder why they are so continually fucking mediocre for the last 14, 15 years. So what will probably happen here? There's no real. I mean, I'm only speculating here, but I mean, we've seen this sort of shit with West Tigers coaches all the time.
Yeah.
There are coaches that have had backing of everybody.
Yep.
And they still managed to find a way to get arseholed. And Madge has further exacerbated the current situation by revealing that Benji is no longer welcome at the club from the end of this season.
Yep.
Which puts him in the position where, I guess it's retire because he's old, but he did anticipate, continuing on at least next year, from what I've read.
Well, the Bulldogs seem to be constantly in the market for his style of half. And tell me he's not a better choice than fucking Foran or Green.
Yeah, definitely Green. I mean, Foran's not going to be there. If Foran's on that, he's not going to be there either. Yeah, so...
But Benji's not as busted as Foran to begin with.
Yeah. One thing Foran will do though is he will tackle. He'll put his body on the line in defence.
Yeah.
And Green, of course. I mean, wonderful signing that. I mean, he'll play maybe the last month, after doing an ACL. So I guess it comes down to the whole question with our mate Benji. Sure, he could go somewhere else, and I think that there would be somewhere that would pick him up.
Yep.
Even surely there would be somewhere that would be, especially probably like a younger side that would need just like an older, more experienced guy just to teach him the ways.
Yep.
However, there is whatever the opposite of like poetic is, where he really should be finishing his after the homecoming and everything like that. There is a kind of poetry to him finishing his career at the West Tigers, but now that's kind of been removed because the fact he's not getting a contract for next season means it's not like this glorious Benji, I'm going to retire.
Yeah,
has the last game, plays at Leichhardt for the last time. All the fans go and see this, and it does. They don't have any of that. Now it's like maybe it is going to be his last game. But it wasn't his choice. Yeah. So it kind of makes it a bit of a more sour sort of scenario.
I've read a little bit on this, and there's a bunch of points and a whole bunch of things that go into this. Next year, obviously, top rosters reduce.
Yep.
They go from 30 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
So is a little bit of roster management.
A bit of that, and a lot of money management too, I think.
Yeah, but from everything Benji said, he's on minimum wage. Over.
Really? I don't think he's that low, is he? I mean, there's definitely people in the queue ahead of him to get.
I saw a quote.
Removed.
I saw a quote that he said he came back on minimum.
See, that makes it even. Worse, doesn't it? Yeah.
And excuse me. There's one part of me that says it's a cutthroat business, and there's no room for niceties. If somebody's not performing,
well, fairy tales very rarely happen.
Exactly,
right?
Then drop them.
Yep.
Then the other one is though, you can't find any use for it. Or even say to him like there doesn't even seem to have been. Madge hasn't even gone to him and said, "Hey, Benj, you know what?" Because all that Benji seems to want to do is be involved in the game.
Yes.
I reckon if the Tigers had gone to him and said, "Look, man, off the record,
you're old, on the down low,
you're old, you're missing tackles."
Yep.
And it's obvious. There's articles being written about you.
Mm-hmm.
We can't put you in again next year.
Yep.
But what we would love to do is put you on as a halves coach.
Yep.
You're a premiership winning. Nation representing, dual code playing.
Teach these kids to kick.
Yeah.
Teach them how to pass over into the third row.
That's it. None of that.
Yep.
That's the bit that I find a little bit
surprising. That's I mean, without even having to specify what the role would be, the strategy would be you would go, look, we're not going to be able to offer you a contract next season.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that.
No, not at all.
Because it's not as part of negotiating a new contract.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
that's where they got fucked up, and old shit cunt, lying, cheating scumbag Pascoe had to sit out.
Yes. Because
he used that as an incentive to try and get someone to take less money.
Yep.
which is a blatant fucking violation of the rules that only a shit cunt human being would do.
Yep. So that's the strategy is to go to him early, say, look, this is what the situation's going to be, but you're a legend. We love you, the club. You love the club. Everyone wants you around in some sort of capacity. Life after football is very important. Obviously, you were going to transition nicely into media side of things. You've already dipped your toes into it, fairly heavily. So that's on the. But we'd also like to, see you stay at the club as a coach of, whatever.
That's it. We would like to see you in a fucking horrid combination of black, white, and orange.
Yes.
In some sort of polo shirt.
Yep.
With whatever poor shit cunt bottom barrel desperate company wants to sponsor us on your chest for a little while.
Yep.
Instead, and look, while Benji's being a little bit classy in inverted commas about this, he's not fucking missing. He's not coming out and saying.
Well, he's making it clear
I've
that
been fucked here.
Yeah, well, he's making it clear that the facts as they've been reported. For example, him not even being told and it being printed in the newspaper before he actually heard from anyone about it, and then he goes to the club or he goes to Madge and says, what's the deal? I'm reading this in the papers, and then Madge says, give me 24 hours. To come back to you. Like, fucking hell, man. I mean, if it's come out in the papers and it's true, what do you need 24 hours to, be a fucking man.
Exactly. And then even for Benji to break out the old, one thing I respect about Madge, he's always been honest with me.
Yeah. Right after you've detailed how he wasn't.
But isn't that the bare fucking minimum, especially in a working relationship? Especially with somebody that's in a position of authority over you.
Look, I'm going to say in every relationship, why not?
Like the only time bullshitting is generally acceptable is, if it's your kids and it's Santa Claus, or your partner hasn't used their safe word yet. Fucking hell. Everything about this has been handled fucking poorly, and if I was a Tigers fan, and I'll speak seriously here for a minute, if I was a Tigers fan, I would be absolutely fucking ropeable at the management of the club. Not about Benji going. I would swallow that as, one of those tough decisions.
Father time.
Yeah, like you said, the fairy tales rarely happen.
Mm-hmm.
However, you contrast that with, say, for example, the way Luke Lewis left the Panthers. Luke Lewis goes and says, I'm out. I'm done. I've had enough. Too many injuries. All of this stuff's happening. My mental health isn't good. I'm not enjoying footy anymore. This is fucked. The club says, no. That's not right. You got lots of footy in you, but it's not here. And they help him secure a deal elsewhere. The West Tigers have taken one of the greatest servants of their club.
Mm-hmm.
The West Tigers have got one highlight in the entire fucking history.
Yeah, him flicking it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll go so far as to say it's the only highlight for both sides of that joint venture ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our West, garbage.
What else are they nothing. What else are they going to do?
I mean, West claim to fame is
replay Wayne Pearce failing in '89.
Well, I mean, the West's contribution to the rugby league is how fucking terrible they were in 1999. I mean,
exactly.
That's about it.
And that's how they treat him.
Yeah.
So
it's the shame.
It's the principle of how it was handled. It's disappointing.
That's right.
Also, fuck Justin Pascoe.
The National Rugby League has issued Cronulla Sharks player Bronson Cherry with a notice of alleged anti-doping rule violations under the NRL's anti-doping policy. It follows the return of a positive sample and completion of the anti-doping process administered by Sport Integrity Australia. The notice alleges that Bronson breached the policy through the presence, use and possession of anabolic and androgenic steroids prohibited by the World Anti-Doping Agency and the NRL's anti-doping policy. He's been provisionally suspended from participating in any WADA-compliant sport, including rugby league, on the 26th of May 2020, following the return of a positive sample for fucking every everything under the sun, including one I've never heard of before.
Really?
I mean, everyone knows, like, testosterone and andro and things like that. But this fucking etiocolanolone, I've never heard of. And then there's some other more, scientifically, like 5-B-androsterone, 3A, and, these sorts of things. So he now has the opportunity to respond to the matters. And he's facing 4 years in the bin. And given his B sample returned positive, I don't think he has much of a leg to stand on. Particularly when they mentioned as well
what was
that
the
it
name
wasn't
of that one you never heard of.
let me find it again. Etiocolanolone. So that's ETIOCHOLANOLONE. Give me a famous person on that one, because everyone knows, like, the old stanozolol is, Ben Johnson, and
yeah.
We got any wild sightings of that one?
Drugs very rarely induce. Okay, this is far too heavy a subject to just read off my fucking phone. There's plenty of fucking studies on it.
Yeah. Effective? It's good?
Okay, so I've just Google searched benefits.
Yes.
It has an anticonvulsant activity and may be an endogenous modulator of seizure susceptibility.
Okay.
So it actually looks like there's
that one sounds like there's a
non-muscle,
like, sport enhancement. Yeah. But the thing that fucks him, obviously, is the positive B sample's been returned, but they've also claimed he's breached the policy through the possession of these. So they've. He sounds like he's been caught about as red-handed as you possibly could be. I mean, not only with the presence of the substances in his blood, he's actually literally got stuff. So that's 4 years. So he's obviously very young, and this is only like his second season of first grade.
Yeah.
So he 4 years is something, not many players could overcome the 4 year thing, but he's so young that 4 years is certainly easy for him to come back from, should he remain, in some sort of shape, or at least recommence
to go to Thailand and get on the Shandor.
Get on the roids in 3 years to get himself ready to come back at the end of the suspension. I don't know, but another positive drug test.
What do you say? There's a culture.
Yeah.
And people
like it or not.
Like, what's Paul? You see Paul Gallen in the paper today?
Not until you told me about it.
I'm tired of people comparing. I'm tired of. Are you tired of this? You weren't tired of fucking copping L's up your asshole. You're tired of this.
Yeah.
This is what you're tired of. This is what you enjoy. Not enough to want more of.
This is like almost a full year after his last game too. I mean, you're a legend of that club. Yeah. You're a long-standing servant of that club. Yeah. You're not of that club anymore, motherfucker. Like,
fucking hell.
You're just the fucking New South Wales Gordon Tallis.
A couple of
dollar
things.
quote.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. A couple of things. When he was busted originally, all of the reports and news stories were around. Basically, no one was surprised.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is within the club.
Yep.
No one was surprised. Everyone used to joke about it, and it was the dirty little secret that his rise was too fast, or his development was too good, or he went away for an off season and came back fucking jacked.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. So is that your culture then? You know that that's going on, and the guy makes it to first,
and it's
grade,
a joke, and
and that's it.
Yeah.
So it fucking sucks. He's young. It's a bad decision, and a terrible bad decision.
Yep.
However, one that doesn't really affect anybody else. He's not raping anyone.
No.
He's not betting on games and then letting tries in.
And it sounds like that, unlike people who have allegedly raped people, he hasn't really been around or included in the team. I saw a quote from Chad Townsend saying that apart from an initial WhatsApp message at the time when he got busted, he's not heard from him in like 4 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe he's just not friends with Chad, but you know, I
wouldn't want to talk to Chad.
I extrapolated that to the group in general. And thought, okay, so yeah. But he's young enough to come back if he's good enough, and you know, there's a whole other discussion to be said about the length of suspensions and things like that. You know, it's 4 years in this sport, and some sports only, you know, they'll give you like a year or two depending on the number of offences and things like that. But
then there's also the question: should any drug cheat be allowed back
ever?
Because there's studies that show that benefits you gain from doping continue whilst you don't have the explosive benefits and the benefits in training. What you've gained, you really don't lose as long as you keep up a certain amount of activity.
Well, I mean, I guess they've got, you know, historically speaking, they've got they've allowed a bunch of people to come back. Exactly. You know, so they don't really have a leg to stand on there unless they want to completely revise and, you know, the entire way they deal with these things. And I guess that, you know, with the levying of such a heavy suspension, I guess that they're probably like, look, if you can fucking come back from that, then best of luck to you. You know, because if you had been like, you know, a 32-year-old player.
Yeah, that's
4 years. That's it. But when you're only like 20 or whatever, you know,
unless your name's Jared Mullen.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was another one. That's like still a little bit away though, isn't it? Like he's coming to the end of the time, but he's apparently looking fit and looking to.
Wasn't his that it was recreational drugs, or was he on?
Well, he was in.
PED?
He had the. Didn't he have a fucking ton of He had it all going on, didn't he?
Was he just a fucking milkshake of illegal shit?
He was just absolutely. But wasn't he involved in like criminal shit as well? Yeah. But now it's looking like he's coming to the end of that. So I can't imagine any club. I've seen a lot of Newcastle Twitter people like going, oh, you know, bring him home and all this sort of thing. I think he's working down in Wollongong or somewhere at the moment. And they're like, oh, bring him home. Oh, really? It's a weird flex.
You got to remember though, this guy was touted as the next Andrew Johns. He was the heir apparent.
Yeah, but he wasn't though. Like, but yeah, so like, why you want to bring that back? It's not like he's. Imagine if he was literally the next Andrew Johns. This guy, he's played for Newcastle, won a comp for them, played for New South Wales, won 3 or 4 series for him. Then all this shit happens.
Yeah.
Then you're like, well, fuck, that guy's amazing. In like 2 years, it's only 2 years. But you at least get him on the paddock and try it.
Yeah, exactly.
At least do him like a train and trial or whatever. But he wasn't even like...
And especially someone whose career was cruelled with injuries every fucking season.
I mean, he wasn't even the next, like, Mitchell Pearce, really, in terms of what he actually delivered.
He was pre-Mitchell Pearce.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I'm talking about the level he hit, though, like, of halfback level.
Every season, he'd be playing out of his skin. Shouldn't say that. He'd be the best 7 option that New South Wales had at that time.
Yeah, that was a dark time, though, too, remember?
It was. But he was serviceable. And you'd be like, fuck, okay, you can manage your game. You can kick us out of trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
We might be able to do something here. And he'd fuck himself 3 weeks before Origin.
Yeah.
Oh, well, best of luck to him.
Yeah, best of luck to him. But, I mean, I just don't understand the Newcastle, you know, the heavy, and maybe it's just a microcosm of Knights fans that I happened to see at the time when that article hit Twitter or whatever.
Yes,
maybe that was it. But it seemed to be a very, in general, a very warm sort of reception, and it just mind-boggling to me. And finally, we can't forget the Broncos. Tevita Pangai Jr. has been suspended by the Broncos. Well. Look, the way that they want to front the story is this: Tevita Pangai Jr. has had his employment terminated by the Brisbane Broncos for his multiple breaches of the COVID bubble. For multiple biosecurity breaches. Except he hasn't been terminated because the termination's been suspended for 12 months, subject to him fulfilling certain conditions. So. He has to do. Let me get the. Okay, these are the things he has to do to remain with the Broncos in 2021. He's going to be stood down immediately without pay for the remainder of this season, and will be removed from the Project Apollo bubble. He immediately must begin a mentoring program with a club-approved mentor for 12 months, and the mentor reports back to the board on a monthly basis. Then he has to work in a job organised by that mentor for the remainder of the 2020 season.
Mm-hmm.
He ceases to participate in social media, as well as ceasing to engage with media in general unless authorised by the club. He returns to full duties for the 2021 pre-season in mid-November in good physical condition. And if he breaches any of those above 4 things that I said, they can rip up his contract. If he complies with them, they will allow him to fulfill his current 3-year deal worth $2 million. So, it's a win for Pangai. I mean, because he retains his job and I mean while he is fined fairly heavily, he still retains the vast majority of a lucrative contract.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Broncos would. I feel like the Broncos want to claim it as a win and claim it as evidence that they are tough on fuckery.
Yes.
But realistically,
no.
He's got a couple of conditions he has to fulfill for like 3 months, and just basically not do anything fucking stupid. But the benefit they get is banning him from the socials and banning him from media engagements unless they approve of it. Means that any talk about any of this other bullshit like the salary cap, the TPA stuff that he was on about last week, who's he going to tell about that? You can't tell anyone.
Look, the other thing that he's tied to that, but his agent and other people he represents,
people close to the player,
that's it. They aren't, but you're 100% right there. I agree. It's spin. It's the Broncos getting out and going, oh yeah, we've come down hard here. We've won, but we are merciful masters, and we give him these conditions that are tough, and if he meets them, then he'll be up to our standards again.
Yes.
They're fucking desperate to keep anyone of talent that they can.
Yep.
Because they're that low on fucking good stocks that they can't stand the fan backlash of losing another popular player.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, they chose.
It's never going to happen.
I mean, they chose him over Fafita.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it just turned out that they negotiated with him first, or his negotiations came through first. So he was the one that was already signed at the time when the Fafita thing was becoming a bit of a battle. But yeah, so if they had lost both of them, because the reason they couldn't retain Fafita obviously is because they spent the money on Pangai.
Yeah.
So if they had lost both of them, it would have been incredible.
Look, they've told Joe Ofahengaue that he can go and look elsewhere.
Yep.
So that he's not wanted.
Yep.
This highly touted best young forward pack in the game.
Yeah.
Never even got its fucking legs under itself.
Yep. They also said I think Hopper's gone this year as well. Milford can go if he wants to.
Yep. That's not surprising.
No, not surprising at all. I mean, it's there's a few lame ducks on big dollars that can go.
That's it. But the beginning of this year in the first 2 games, you wouldn't have thought you were too far from wrong.
No.
Everyone was, Brisbane, Brisbane will live and die on the fortunes of their forward pack.
Mm-hmm.
Because when those guys got it up together, they could take on any pack in the competition. And it's absolutely fallen apart.
Yep.
So, fuck them, they deserve it all.
Yeah, and once again, we put them on Spoon Watch again this week.
Yes.
Recaps. Okay, where are we? Oh, first game Thursday night. This seems like so fucking long ago. The Rabbitohs 38 defeated the Eels 0 at Bankwest. The Rabbitohs 38 came through tries to Corey Allen, Adam Reynolds, Jackson Polo, Cody Walker, Jaden Sewer, a double to Campbell Graham, and 5 of 7 conversions to the halfback Adam Reynolds. And he did go for the disrespectful field goal at halftime as well, but it was unsuccessful. The Eels, fuck all, 0-0. Well, South actually did put it together again.
Yeah, they did.
It wasn't an accident.
Not at
the week before. It wasn't poor. There wasn't a reflection on the opposition. And in fact, the opposition scored 3 more tries than the Eels managed to. So wasn't that something? And the Eels, it was just so funny that social media, the articles, is the article thrust of the week for that week from the Eels was, on the back of beating the Storm 14 points to nil, our goal is to keep teams to nil. And yeah, not your fucking self, dummy.
Yeah. There was a lot to like about South in this game. They've also made the switch, I think, this year. And that's down to their coaching staff. They were such a forward dominant team for the last couple of years, and they've had to readjust. And that's on losing a couple of big players, but also, you know, the performance of people like Cook hasn't been what it was for whatever reason.
Yeah, but I mean, you want to talk about like the forward dominated sort of thing, but I mean, like the way last year, the thing that stuck out to me that I remember from last year was these sweeps. Also, the year before, so like these sweeps from right to left, where it looked like Johnson it was, and it looked like and then all of a sudden, despite being matched up, what seemed to be man on man, they'd have a 2-man overlap by the time it got down to like the 20, and they scored. This sort of shit was happening in this game again. Yeah, exactly. It was looking exactly like that era, which was amazing.
And a lot of that was down to Cody Walker.
Yep,
who is not back to, and I've said it so many times before, but he's not back to pre-Origin headfuck Cody Walker.
Yep.
But he's starting to be.
Yeah, he's pretty much at the moment, I think.
He's doing that Cody Walker thing where he's just sniffing around everywhere.
Yep.
He's engaging the line at any given opportunity, and just trusting that his guys will be outside him. So the other thing, Latrell had a better game this one. There's still some criticisms of him at fullback. Things like he lets a lot of balls bounce.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of those things are a moot point anyway at this point. Because now he's gone, and they didn't really take their foot off the accelerator when they lost him either. Yeah, so. I mean, the benefit of having like a very good fullback on the wing.
Parramatta in this game, up to like the second half, they just needed a good start to the second half. And they were right back in it. But they just had a case of the fucking yips all over the park. Shitty mistakes at shitty times.
As good as Souths were, I mean, Parramatta needs to be called out for being downright fucking diabolical.
Yeah.
Especially like it's so soft in the middle. Like those breaks like with Reynolds and just terrible defense. Moses again did nothing to dispel the whole, downhill sort of running
flat track
bully talk. So it was once again he offered very little. They lose Brown for a time, which won't help them at all. But look, we called the Eels cooked at least a month ago.
Yeah,
maybe longer.
Yep,
and all they've really had to show, the only impressive thing they've had to show recently was that win over the Storm last week, and with the Storm in probably their most injury crisisy form in fucking recent history.
Yep,
like recent memory. Certainly this year, certainly last couple of years, I would say, just with the number of crucial key guys they didn't have in the side. And so this basically put Parramatta. It sort of took the heat off for a week, but this put them back where I thought they were, and I just don't know. I can't see them. Even their fans are kind of quieting down because they see what's happening and they know.
Yeah.
Like I just can't see. Like obviously they're going to be in the finals.
Yep.
But depending on how they finish up the season, where they finish, if they finish in the bottom half of the eighth, I can't. I'd be very surprised to see them last. Unless they get a very favourable matchup in the finals, I can't see them going through. Yeah. I can't see them lasting a week.
Yeah. Spot on. Matt in the Facebook group said, "What a fucking touch-up this is. Rabbits having a Bennett coach season. Started with getting the basics right, and now we're starting to see some of the marquee players come into their own." Sky gave us a funny quote I'd heard from an Eels fan. They said, "Micah Sivo's the worst defensive winger in the NRL. He couldn't read a fucking kid's book." Ouch. How do you think he's looking?
I think he's looked. I mean, look. For God's sakes, he was fucking handled. He was handled by fucking Brad Parker like a month and a half ago. Like, these are... Semi would never.
Yeah, true. Dan said, absolutely frothing over this. What a fucking time to hit top form. John said, 34 years and counting, bubble is burst. Andrew said, and this is why I asked how you think he's looked. He said, I hate to say it, but Sivo needs a rest. Looks slow and lazy, cruising on Jennings' work rate. Give the cum dumpster a chance. I
agree that I don't know about tired, but lazy, yeah. I mean, cause remember like the end of last season where he was just trucking everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the team fucking needs that sometimes, and like his involvement does seem to be really low.
Yeah, that's it. Big Gav said, Uncle Wayne with a coaching masterclass just to rub it into the Broncos some more. Para couldn't go through or around South. Apt description. And Chev at Chevius Lachlan says, honestly, as a West Tigers fan, it's great to see the stupid good-for-nothing wank best playing Eels get given the tattooed Mars bar from Reynolds. Hope they take this form into the finals. Hashtag Yuri of Cleary. What a fucking sensational individual you are, sir.
What a random addition. Oh, and another thing that this season has displayed too. You never would have thought, based on all the bullshit of sort of the meme level sort of chat over the last several years, or whatever. Brookvale Oval. I'd be surprised if it's even if it barely scrapes into the bottom 5 surfaces in the game in 2020. There's another Rona fucking surprising fact. Bankwest is brand new.
Yeah.
And the fucking abattoir up in North Queensland, brand new.
That's it.
Fucking disgraceful.
Yeah.
Like, just the worst goat tracks.
Bankwest, I reckon you have the excuse of just the amount of activity on it.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really that much? Like that? I mean, a couple of teams are playing home games there, but I mean, like last year's Tigers were there, were playing some games there, and the Eels are playing some games. I mean, like, maybe there's slightly more this year, but I mean, fuck. The Titans 14 defeated the Dragons 10 at Net Strata Jubilee Friday pub slot game. The Titans tries to Sammy, Peachy, and Fogarty, and one of 2 conversions to Fogarty, and Taylor missed with his only attempt. The Dragons 10, a try to Jacob Host, a conversion to Zach Lomax, and 2 penalty goals to Zach Lomax. This game was
tough.
It was singularly unenjoyable, but for the last 3 minutes or extremely short amount of time.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like that neither side was really up to the task of winning this game for themselves, and until the very, very, very end when the Titans actually they got a lucky sort of bounce of the ball try. They were just all pouring through, and there was everyone was on the spot to take advantage of what transpired.
Yep.
And then they came straight back down, and they did it again to snatch the win at the death.
Yeah. For the Titans, they looked fairly ordinary most of the night.
Yep.
Cut and paste from a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Kelly is the lone creative spark for that team's attack, and looked to be trying to create something almost every time he touched the ball.
Yep.
And a couple of breaks and half chances came just on him getting a little bit of early ball. For the Dragons, the concern is that there seems to be very little different from the pre-Mary sacking to the post. And generally, teams get that, and sometimes it is a dead cat bounce, but they get a change up because things are new.
Yep.
There's a new energy at training. They're trying new things, or there's just a new way they're going about things, and there's a new feeling within the team, and that translates into new energy and new efforts on game day. If I had to guess, I would suggest that Dean Young had almost everything to do with that team's attack and defence, even before Mary got the sack, or that they'd been preparing for Mary to go for so long, because that team looks thoroughly uninterested. Corey Norman was dropped 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago?
3. Because, I mean, obviously 2 weeks ago was when he had that great game.
That's right, yeah.
To turn the...
So he was
Broncos.
Dropped.
Yep.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever the fuck it was. And he's now back to just not caring and walking in defence and making absolute bullshit efforts. I would be absolutely ropeable if I was the coach of that club and fuck him off straight out of there again. Yeah. But hey, I'm not, because they're not successful. Fuck them. Bronco White said in the Facebook group, I am coming. Unfortunately, it's from the 85% Coco Darrell Lee Rocky Roadblock that is firmly pressed against my prostate. Well done, sir. Gets me there too. Devon Head said, if any positives are to come from this, it's that Dean Young isn't the answer for our full-time head coach in 2021. Welcome to Griffin Ball.
Yeah, apparently, and you see Anthony Griffin, his Twitter came under some scrutiny this week.
Really?
Yeah, with all the likes and not retweets, but all the likes that he's been doing. He's like liking all this, Pauline Hanson shit and fucking COVID fraud, hoax
hell.
this and all that sort of shit. Yeah. So
Jesus.
So you'll fit right in with old mate Skull on the hill down there if he ends up at the Dragons.
That's it. Is it really rape if it's heterosexual?
Yeah, look, I didn't see him liking anything on that nature, but he has to obviously smooth this DeBellin thing over in his own mind if he does take the reins.
That's it. Dave said, nope. No, Dave didn't say that because that's the Broncos tweets. Nort said, fuck yeah, suck my dick from the back as the Mars bar is absorbing into your gaping Anus Dragons. Hammers said, can't believe we won that. Played like shit. Henry doing his best, but we defended well. Lucky Peachy did a thing, and holy fuck, if AJ Brimson isn't the best fullback in Queensland, then who is?
He's on this fucking AJ Brimson is the best fullback in Queensland trip lately, isn't he?
He's not even the best fullback of the Titans. Fucking serious?
Fucking something else in that tweet just reminded me. Can anyone out there who's listening to the show, it doesn't matter which club you support, do any of you believe when you go into a game refereed by Henry Perenara that you're getting a fair shake?
Yeah.
I have a theory that every single team feels victimised by Henry Perenara.
Yeah, but you know what? That probably comes out and says that he's actually like the fairest referee.
Yeah, that's that's what the implication is if that's the case. Yeah. So I'm just interested in the sample group of reasonable size that our audience, our listenership is. Are there any? I guess it's probably quicker to say, are there any listeners out there who don't feel that their side is victimised by Perenara?
Yeah,
that's the question.
Fuck him. Shit bumble taste too.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking scumbag.
Exactly.
Like, know your fucking level, cunt.
Exactly. Well, this is the thing. I mean, he should know. I mean, because he's not even at that level.
No. Exactly.
So.
Should be on seeking arrangements. The arrangement is that he needs someone fucking that hates himself enough to fuck a referee. Not ironically, just for the story. Dean Liverus. I think that's somebody that may have posted something about someone standing on someone's neck once.
And had their account deleted, yes.
See, this is what I expect from Dragons fans. It says, not only did we end the Roosters three-peat, we did our bit to keep the Broncos close to the spoon. Lost to the Titans to ensure they are the best Queensland team and enable the Tigers to keep their 9th position. Pride of the league. Good on him. And at JDHD44 said, Dragons are fucking useless cunts. 70% of the game in the opposition half and couldn't score in a brothel. Yeah, their attack was flaccid.
The Roosters 58 defeated the Broncos 12 at the SCG. The Roosters 58. Here we go. Tupanua with a double. Daniel Tupou with a double. Isaac Liu, Teddy, a double for Josh Morris. Nat Butcher and Beamos also with tries. Flano Jr. 9 of 10 conversions. The Broncos 12 tries to Katoni, Staggs and David Fafita. And Staggs 2 of 2 conversions.
What the fuck do you say about this game?
Well, I mean, the Broncos really tried and thought they had a chance for a period of time there. And then...
they didn't.
And then it was gone.
And then someone kicked off.
But it was kind of like one of these... But this game was for all money looking like it was going to wind down to be like a 36-12 or something 30-something to something between 12 and 18. And then just like the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the Roosters like, fucking that's right, we're supposed to put 6 we're supposed to put 60 on these guns again. And it's went bang, 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 and then threw a couple of easy ones down at the end. And then it became very easy for them, where everything they tried came off. Yeah. And here we go again. The Broncos find themselves at 58 again.
Yeah. A lot of these were very, very soft. And the Broncos didn't even have, for the last couple of weeks, that had that positive of getting in and having really good starts to games.
Yep.
Like they got into the contest early. They'd match it with teams. Their defense seemed to go up a notch the last couple of weeks. All out the fucking window. It was absolute shitful from D1.
Got some of those, going back to like last year, we got some of those great, gifable Darius Boyd, no effort sort of.
That's it.
Usher the guy through sort of thing.
If I fall down,
it means that I
make it dramatic enough. It looks like I've made this gallant attempt to.
Yeah, it's just too little, too late. Body on the line, but not good enough. Yeah,
exactly. Absolutely fucking rudderless, and it makes sense now why Katoni Staggs came out and put the whole club on blast.
Yep.
And said there's no leadership.
Yep.
Because there's fucking not.
No.
Like him and Dearden.
Yep.
Are about the only ones getting in and having a crack in that team.
And they can get in the huddle behind the post and yell and scream all they want. But I mean, they're like fucking kids.
Yeah.
Like first and second year kids in the club.
Yeah, absolutely rough. But the Roosters, the fucking Morris twins. Was there originally a triplet and they just keep him in a chamber somewhere for genetic material?
Keep for stem cells too.
Yeah, that's it.
Honestly,
maybe Uncle Nick's got a large hadron collider under Roosters HQ, and that's where the third Morris twin's being kept.
But like the best buys of the season of the season is Josh, and he was fucking average at the Sharks.
Yeah,
he was done, and BMOS was having all the fun because he'd gone to East and got a premiership and everything. Fucking now he's just. It's amazing to me. I mean, because we've got for that forever kind of love to the Mozzies, just on account of their deeds in state of origin. But man, like it is just so great to see like two old guys going around and still fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And like looking fast.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand it.
Yeah. But still you're like, okay, they're fast, but they're not young kids centre and winger fast.
No.
So there's that little bit of crafty in them.
Yep.
Love a crafty veteran. Fucking love it.
Hit the tweets.
Adam. Finally get to Adam. He says, Dearden makes me hopeful for the future of the Broncos. He got a strong back carrying all that dead weight. Yes, he does. Dave said, as a Donkeys fan, I feel we're all being robbed of this situation's true visceral potential with the reduced crowds. Imagine stadiums half full of our shithead fans piling further abuse on the shit show taking place on the field. It hurts, but I want this season to go full clusterfuck with our rightful spoon being awarded. I just feel I'm missing out on the images of hateful fans gronking, fuckwit players being told in real time how malignant they are, and the sounds of angry crying from the stands. Jesus Christ. Well done, sir. It's fucking poetry. That is fucking poetry. Daniel said, who is the Broncos captain? Standing behind the try line, no one is saying anything. Staggs was right. No leadership at that club. Yes, you are correct, sir. Anthony said, to the three Roosters players that didn't score against the Donkeys, take a long, hard look at yourselves. Zoran said, absolutely disgusting display. This will leave a stain on the club for generations to come. Allowing the Broncos to score 12 points is just embarrassing. Oh, there we go.
And while you were doing that, I was just looking up the draw to see where the Broncos season finishes up. And it's a Thursday night game at home versus the Cowboys. So if the impossible dream comes to a reality, I mean, surely we could be there. I would love to imagine if the Doggies can get 2 wins up on them, so they've got So it gets to the last round, and even if the Broncos win, by virtue of the for and against, they can't get out of the spoon.
Yeah.
I will fucking get tickets to that game.
And I will go, and I will take 30 wooden spoons in my bag.
I will fucking fashion a coat or something with spoons, wooden spoons, all just on it. And just tune up Spotify, just give a sound guard. And then you can see me in hospital after the last 3 Broncos fans that haven't thrown their jerseys over the fence at Red Hill beat me to a fucking pulp. Deservedly so, but worth it at the same time. The Warriors 36 embarrassed the Newcastle Knights 6 at Scully Park in Tamworth. The Warriors 36 came through a double to Pompey, a double to RTS. George Jennings and Jazz Tavanga also with tries. Channel Harris Tavita 5 of 6 conversions and a penalty goal. The Knights a try to Shibasaki, a conversion to Ponga.
This Warriors side keeps on fucking impressing with their attitude, man.
They actually, I think they've come to that period where they're like they know what it's all about now. They're used to it now.
Yep.
And the end is closer than the start.
Yeah.
And so that sort of the buoyancy that they're getting from that.
Yeah.
And just I guess just the acceptance of their circumstances and the lack of like pressure. They don't have there's no speculation about coaching.
No.
At the moment, because the coach has already been sacked, so there's none of that.
That's it.
The homesick players have gone, and the players who are actually intent on staying there are there.
The lone players you believe would be sort of in a groove.
Yep. Exactly. Like the ones from Parramatta. I mean, they won't be able to have them this week, but like Jennings, they've played enough games with them now that they're in a groove. They know what they're doing.
Yep.
So it's just now it's kind of like it's just like anything. It's like for them. I mean, think of this season as a week.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking Thursday now for them.
Yep.
I mean, and so they know. So they're so close they can taste it to the end. They know they're not going to make the finals, so they know they've just like another month. The hard part's over.
That's it.
And it looks like they're sort of more now, like having fun rather than like laboring through this fucking terrible, never ending chore.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it looked like. This game. Hiku's having a resurgent season. Like
the last couple of weeks for Hiku's been fucking fantastic.
And again, not even that individual brilliant stuff, but that rare fucking quality of just creating for others.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 2 he set up this week, like the first one, he just used his size.
Yeah.
Like he's a big fucking dude. And just used his size to confuse the defense and threw it. But then that fucking for what's his name, second.
Yeah.
The cutout flick pass out the fuck me. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
You mix into that. That was the best game I think I've seen RTS play in a long time.
Yep.
And by that I mean overall contributions
since the Roosters. Maybe not that good, but yeah. Maybe not that long. I mean, I'm sure he's played great games with the Warriors, but
but he fucking ended Pierce.
Yep.
And he ended Ponga.
Mm-hmm.
And that was some old school fucking RTS
Dalsim shit, yeah.
Like just cunts teleported and look, he scored.
Yep.
It's fantastic to watch. The Knights just didn't seem to be able to match their intensity, which is
it's just another one of these sides that I think we've seen their best. And it was too long ago now.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it turning around. I mean, they've had they've had their issues through the season in terms of injuries. I mean, they went through the incredible hooking crisis, a month or so ago. But like Parramatta, they were just doing enough, but now they're not even doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you hate to see it.
That's it. Ross said, my only comment on my Knights this week is poo emoji, poo emoji, poo emoji, poo emoji.
I expect better out of you, Ross. I mean, first I can congratulate you on your congratulate the right term on your retirement, sir. And
fuck, that's right.
Yeah, congratulations on your retirement. As a result, we now know that you have more time on your hands, and a couple of poo emojis is not going to suffice.
Correct.
You've got the time to fucking craft responses now.
Yes. You did say, I am over investing my emotional well-being in this bunch of zero-effort flogs. Still better than Manly and Broncos, though. Hashtag fuck the Broncos. Dominic said, fucking took these cunts back to school. Not COVID homeschool with your mum doing your work for you. You fucking school with the nuns smashing the shit out of you with rulers, staying away from Father Bill's back room. That school. Fucking lessons on lessons. Suck my hairy balls from the back. Nova castrated flops. Hashtag fuck the Broncos.
I tell you, if there's one thing, with the earth, countries all around the world, like America, deeply divided at the moment with, the protesters and the right versus left and the elections coming up and, you got the fucking maniac in charge there that's just sowing even further discord. But then down in Australia, though, or at least on the east coast of Australia, Ross is over in WA, so like in Australia, let's just generalise and say in Australia.
Unity.
Coming together, the country is healing. Bridges are being spanned. Divides are being crossed. All over the common unifying factor of the Broncos being fucking terrible.
That's it.
We're not even speaking about a Broncos game at the moment.
See how great
people are rejoicing.
See how great the Yuri of Cleary is.
I just don't. I think it's the Broncos.
Yeah, but these Broncos are in the Yuri of Cleary.
Yeah, but I mean, to say that would be to acknowledge that it's the Yuri of Cleary, and no one's doing that. Well, two people are.
It fucking is.
Two people are acknowledging.
There's a Tigers fan that tweeted Yuri of Cleary at us today.
Yeah, but I mean, Tigers fans are the most ultra cucks of the NRL world, so...
Oh, I don't know. So one of your mates saying he'd like to sign Benji.
Who? Who said they'd like to sign Benji? Nigel. Fucking name and shame.
Said, this game has proven a few things. Stephen Kearney never could coach. Mitchell Pearce is the worst game manager of all time. Good luck with that, Knights. If Pinger is getting 1 million plus, surely that's what Pappenhausen is worth. He's twice the footballer this bloke is.
Yes.
And I hate him and his faux hawk, mo wearing, storm cheating cunt self. Frogmore said, Warriors winning games with all the lone players should send a message to their recruitment going forward.
What's that? Fucking...
Shunter said, I wonder if those old boilers I tried to pick up 12 years ago are there thirsting over the real Mitchell Pearce. We need a fucking After Dark with Shunter on that one. Be a lot of new listeners that... Levius said, at King Levius, a few hours have passed now, so I've had time to compose myself to properly articulate my feelings. Solid game from the boys. They really dug deep. And suck shit, you fucking credit-seeking frauds. RTS slapped his dick across the surprise Ranger's forehead. Suck my motherfucking dick from the back, cucks. Nice. Next.
Okay, where are we? The Panthers 30 defeated the Tigers 6. Panthers Stadium. The Panthers 30 came through tries to Luai, Martin, To'o, Crichton, and Mansour. 4 of 5 conversions to Cleary and a penalty goal. The Tigers only tried to David Norfoluma and conversion to Moses Mbai.
For the Tigers, there were some bright moments in this game that they can take away. It's obviously nowhere near a complete full 80-minute performance for them, but they stuck with Penrith for the vast majority of that first half.
Mm-hmm.
They absorbed a shitload of pressure. Like, if you remember back earlier in the year, there were a couple of games where the Tigers came out and were this defensive fucking powerhouse.
Yeah.
And it was the sort of defense that you can potentially build a season on.
Yep.
They just couldn't do it week on week.
Well, it's because you get fucking dropping players and, exactly. Combinations fall out.
And they were back to that level of dedication and scramble. And every time Penrith had an opportunity, Tigers were there in numbers. It was good to watch for them. The issue was that their entire game plan revolved around being grubby cunts. And they're obviously...
the niggle in this game was befitting... I didn't see anything on social media leading up to this game, hardly. I was extremely disappointed with both sides because last time, it was fucking on for young and old.
Yeah, and we finished them.
Yeah, but still...
We fucking finished them.
Yeah, so what you do then is you fucking twist the knife and they fight back harder. No, you don't. That's what happens.
You don't. You leave them fucking begging for relevancy.
But see, they weren't doing that either. Yeah, it was just fucking quiet from both sides.
Yeah, they were.
You're both just sitting in your fucking corners on the stool, just gently fucking playing with yourselves, making eye contact all the while.
Do Lions concern themselves with the affairs of shit cunts that can't even afford their own strapping tape to give to their players? No, Lions don't even know what strapping tape is. That's how irrelevant the Tigers are to the lion that is the Panthers.
The lion that is the Panthers. This episode's just killing it with science.
Exactly. In fact, what do you get when you cross a lion and a panther? You get a pantheon, which is a whole room full of gods, which is exactly what this Penrith team is. It's a pantheon. And to their credit, the Tigers put Penrith off for that first half. Penrith didn't know what to do with it.
Yep.
They tried to get into their groove, or they tried to go back at them and tried to really get in and grind, but they were obviously shaken up. And then half-time came, and this was one of the really pleasing things for me on this, was that they came out after half-time a different team. And they just went back to basics. And you could see that they weren't intent on getting caught in any bullshit. I was really disappointed to see, Moses Mbai doing things like lashing out with his fucking boot in a tackle. Although it does go to his quality as a player, that he was kicking his foot towards Nathan Cleary's chin and couldn't even fucking do that right. And you're paying that cunt $800K a season.
Yeah.
Benji was a little bit disappointing, throwing fucking high shots, trying to decapitate cunts. Like, they were some of the worst high shots I'd seen, especially the one he put on Luai. That was MG level. 100% that was.
Is that all you got to say? Is that all you got to say?
No.
Good, keep going.
And the Luai try over your fucking favourite son that isn't even an actual registered member of your team. Harry Grant is now forever holding fucking Luai's pocket because he tried a waist tackle on the smallest man that's ever played rugby league 20 metres out from the line, and Luai fell over and scored. Fucking absolute cuck material. Seriously, a couple of things that, May's Harbour Bridge pass to Toto. I've seen so many of those passes. I'm seeing more and more and more of them in the league. And done right, they're fucking gorgeous to watch. Also, I think man of the match, man of the series, James Tamau is now officially the best half, not named Cleary or Luai. For his sensational forced dropout. And condolences go to...
It sounds like he's going to be rewarded by given a contract with the Dragons.
Fuck.
Or the Bulldogs or someone.
Old mate Shunter said it earlier in the year. Fucking good on him to, at the stage of his career, play himself into a position where we can't afford him.
Yeah.
I'd love to keep him because the role he's in now is absolutely phenomenal and he is playing it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't afford him and never be ashamed of doing something so well that you price yourself out of where you are. And my condolences go out to Adam Dewey and his family. Just a fucking unlucky night. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to Aaron Marr it, but
you're not gonna go that far, hey?
No, I'm not. Well, no, because he's already done it. I probably would have gone that far.
Yeah.
But I think taking someone else's line is worse than going too far yourself.
Yes.
One of the tweets. Brent Naden has become one of my favourite players. He was a raw lump of talent when he burst onto the first grade last year, but he's really polished his game up. Does some classy shit on the field. His passion and team spirit are outstanding to see. I say that often. He's the first one in congratulating people. You can see that he is genuinely fucking jubilant when his teammates perform. Fantastic guy. Shuntar said, a very feisty game, as expected, with grubbery coming from unexpected places. Jesus fucking Christ. The Tigers need to stop blaming Cleary and just sort their shit out. What did all the Wayne's faulting get Newcastle? A hat-trick of wooden spoons. Hopefully now the Tigers club can let it go and heal. Namaste.
That's not going to happen.
Fuck that. I'm going to keep reminding you cunts that
Ivan Cleary's still
the fucking long game.
Ivan Cleary's still reminding him though too.
Exactly.
I mean, he's in there the week that they say that they're offering a contract to Benji next year. He's in there saying, "Oh, Benji's great, and he should definitely be playing next year."
Love Benji.
Yeah.
How good's Benji?
I mean, he's not. He doesn't have some fucking deep and abiding friendship with Benji Marshall. He needs to hold his back.
Not at all.
He's just doing that just to.
The man that's ruined your club and saddled you with Josh Reynolds, Moses Mbai, and Russell Packer
for about $2.5 or $2.8 million. Fuck.
Is doing more for the hero of your club than your own club is.
Yep.
Ouch.
Yep.
Fucking ouch. James said, credit to the Tigers. They came out fighting and ready to play. Had us on the back foot for most of the first half. I was worried the Tigers niggle was going to get us like it has in the past, but we kept our composure and ran away with the win. The Tigers are trying to win the moment, not the match. And unfortunately, the niggle game backfired and got into their own heads. That's when they lost the game. Hashtag Yuri of Cleary. I agree. If you're going to get into the niggle, you need to back that shit up.
Well, you have to be professional. You have to be professional about it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, you can't like allow yourself to implode.
Yeah. Spot on. Ben said that settles it. Hashtag fuck the Broncos need to sign Tamau on a 7-year deal for $1.3 million a year at number 7. Aaron Marr said, well done to Panthers. It wasn't due to refs. The better team won. It's a shame the score blew out. I thought it was closer than the score made it sound. Well, one of the reasons the score blew out was because that fuckwit Leilua that you've got playing for you does things like give away clear-cut penalty tries. Graham said, has anyone ever seen Benji or Mbai grub it up like that before? No, sir, I have not. Fat Harry Lazy said, so many decent Tigers fans. Pity your club is a literal yeast infection. You need to bring back the orange. Dress like magpies, you play like magpies. Suck my dick from the back. Hashtag Yuri of Cleary. Oh my God, this is fantastic.
Is that it?
Yep.
The Melbourne Storm 30 defeated the mighty Manly Sea Eagles 6 at Sunshine Coast Stadium. Storm had a hat-trick to Olam and a double to the Fox, and Nelson Asafa Solomona with a try. Smith, 3 of 6 conversions. Manly, 6 came to tries to Adam Fanua-Blake, and a conversion to Ruben Garrick. I wasn't actually unhappy with the first half of this game, but with the Storm having all of their stars come back into the side, they just basically played like the Storm in the sense that they just didn't make any mistakes, controlled the territory fairly well, got through their sets. And when one team's doing that, I mean, they weren't doing anything like spectacular, but they were doing the Storm thing very well. But the main factors in this game is just inviting teams into the game by making mistakes yourself, not taking advantage of your own opportunities, and with the massive injury toll. I mean, I felt like speed was a problem anyway, but I mean, it's really a fucking problem out wide. And when you've got someone like with Josh Addo-Carr, I mean, it's literally speed alone yielded tries for him. I mean, when you don't take your own opportunities and bomb like 3 tries as well, which would at the opportunity when you actually gave the opportunity to get right back into the game. I mean, it's just unfucking helpful. And then then you've got the usual fucking 6 agains.
Yes.
Cheap fucking turnovers in your own half.
Yep.
On and on the story goes. And that's how you get what you get when you do that. I mean, I'm glad that Hopper made his debut. Yep. He was okay, but I mean, like, once again, it's pretty tough to throw a kid in against the Storm. But he was fine, I thought, and I mean, thank fuck he didn't get injured. Although Garrick's gone for the season now as well, I think. So I've lost him, but otherwise, I mean, apart from like it's not really notable other than the debut of young Hopper, and the debut of the next Fijian that's going to replace Sully for the Storm, whose name I forget. I don't have it written down, but who seem very fucking strong. They've got an incredible ability of unearthing $90,000 Fijians that are fucking as good as any other fucking backs in the competition. Straight off the fucking boat, like they just come in and they just kill it from the start.
Nice. Grover said, "Ha ha ha! Do I need words? Okay, here are some: strong, clinical, disciplined, brutal, dominant, intelligent, consistent. Hashtag Stormageddon. Hashtag fuck Manly. I have no more paprika. By the way, Lume, am I pronouncing that correct?
That's the one. Yep, Lume.
Is the best name in rugby league going around at the moment.
No.
And he is a human eclipse."
Someone says, so what did Stafford Toa fucking quit the sport or something? I mean, there are many better names.
Why isn't Nathan Cleary the best name?
Well, I mean,
it's not the Yuri of any other cunt.
The first half is pretty fucking amazing, if I do say so myself.
Exactly. See, you're already 50% of the way there.
Yeah, but
that's like agreeing to take the personality test. Now all I got to get you to do is come to our weekend retreat.
Black out. To hold the fucking electrodes or whatever.
No, black out the windows, take your watch away from you. Just turn the AC down a little bit.
We start worshipping Moloch or whatever. The Owl Lord.
Bethany said, "Pappy actually passed the ball. What is this sorcery? In all seriousness, our left edge was amazing, despite Chris being fairly average. And on the right side, Lume seems like Vunivalu, but even better. Manly did better than I thought they would, but they're basically the Blacktown workers at this point, so they were never going to win.
Exactly.
Better luck next year. Hope Turbo's hammies can hold together for more than a couple of weeks." Well, you can wish that, but that won't happen. Ross said, "Sure, Hopewadi is as good as Bradman Best. If you believe that, then you believe Manly are a good club. I don't. Nobody does." And at MJ Eagle 23 said, "Can we try to send George and Brad, the meme Parker, to the UK Super League? I mean, if they aren't convinced to go, we can tell them that now they get free Papa John pizzas at full time. Surely that will push them over the line."
Maybe so. I mean, the thing about Parker is, I mean, that guy clearly leaves 100% out in the field every game. I mean, yes. George, I'll give you, but I mean, I would still keep Parker as like coverage. Like, do I want him to be like a starting center? No, probably not. But I mean, at least you can put him in and say he's reliably going to give you fucking, every last bit of juice he's got. Yep. I mean, I saw someone fucking, shitting on him for, some try that was scored down the left. I mean, fucking hell, the fact he even got close enough to try and stop the try from the other fucking wing is like, you're going to shit on him for that? Fuck out of here. Yeah, is that last tweet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so fucking hell. Once again, it's always the game after, isn't it? It's the game after the Manly game where I get the most fucking triggered the last couple of weeks. Fucking... The Raiders 34 defeated the Bulldogs 20 at GIO. The Raiders 34 came through tries to Tarpanay, a double to Starling, a double to Whiten and Hudson Young. 5 of 6 was single, just a double to Jack Whiten and a try to Hudson Young, I should say. Croker 5 of 6 conversions. The Doggies 20 came through tries to DWZ, Raymond Fatal and Mariner, Josh Jackson, Kerrod Holland, Meany 2 of 4 conversions.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Starling, I believe, is uncontracted next year, and I would not object to see him head up to Manly. He seems to be a very good young hooker who is available, unlike Harry Grant, who's also a good young hooker, but locked in.
Yes.
These fucking dogs, though. This is affecting my mental health.
It is. There was some enthusiasm in this Dogs team for that first half that I hadn't seen.
The thing about this game is we spoke about it last week and we were like, we get to have the week off from fucking having our mental health.
Hoping,
our mental health absolutely fucking JD B'd.
Exactly.
By the fucking Bulldogs and their mates. But fuck. And then the game's progressing and it's like, Canberra is sort of, they're in the lead.
Yep.
And then you blink and then right before half time, Doggies have got a good lead.
20 to something.
20 to 12. Was it 20 to 12? It's 20 to 12, I think.
Yeah.
They went from 12-10 to 20 to 12 in a blink. And then we're like, well, fuck, dare to dream. Yeah. Maybe this week is a week where we can...
Yeah, exactly.
Our mental health is going to frolic through a field of fucking daffodils, feel the sun on its face and, generally have a great time. But no. As they did against the Warriors.
Yeah.
In like 2 minutes, they let through a million fucking tries.
Yeah.
When the Raiders were short-handed, mind you.
Yep.
Fuck. I can't speak.
Exactly.
Can't speak.
Exactly. So
I don't know what to say.
All they needed was another half like they had. With a little bit of fucking enthusiasm.
Yep.
With some bodies around the football.
Mm-hmm.
Jamming in and covering each other in defence. They did it for a half. So it's not like they don't know how.
Yep.
Fuck them.
They're so fucking fragile mentally.
Fuck Canberra. Fuck Canberra for undeservedly getting to a grand final off the back of a nothing fucking soft draw. And then, you know what? You could have 20 of the fucking 6 again calls and you still wouldn't have won that grand final.
Mm-hmm.
Because you deserve nothing but the fucking worst in life.
You don't even deserve the milk that your fucking idiot supporters are constantly up about.
You fucking Corona causing 5G spruiking cunts.
Absolute fucking threats to our national security too, mind you.
Exactly.
And now to add to that list, fucking detrimental to my mental health as well.
Obviously, if you're fucking Huawei everything, then your game plans are
fucking,
a state-sponsored
look at this
secret.
Shit. Fucking Canberra Raiders on my fucking desktop. Fucking Huawei, just like that.
Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ.
They've been injecting fucking 5Gs into my head the entire time we've been talking tonight.
But you know what they're doing? They're texting their fucking game plans to each other on their 5G Huaweis.
Mm-hmm.
That means that their game plans are a state-sponsored secret in China.
Yep.
Which means that, somebody like Justin Pascoe, who obviously has no fucking morals, is doing deals with China to get the Raiders' game plans. It's a whole fucking thing. ASIO should get involved.
They should.
And obviously arrest Justin Pascoe on, national security charges.
And somehow manage to award the Bulldogs 2 points, competition points.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, did the Tigers beat the Dogs?
I don't remember.
Maybe not. I remember being joyous about something that way.
Why are you bringing up old shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Then you fucking throw him in Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
And just hold him there without trial forever. And then Ivan can just come in and blow him a kiss through the bars.
And seriously though, Starling, tremendous. Fucking Whiten, tremendous. The Raiders making a habit of putting on decent second halves when they have a below standard first half.
And Whiten just fucking running the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking unstoppable.
Exactly. I mean, they're certain. They're not. I wouldn't say they're looking the goods because you don't have a first half like that against the Dogs. You can't do that against a good team when it counts.
That's it.
But they're certainly ahead of your Sharks, Eels, Knights kind of level side, and so they at worst they're the fifth best team in the comp at the moment.
Spot on.
Previews. Okay, first up this week, Thursday night, Suncorp Stadium. Are you going to this? You must be.
No.
Taking a receptacle?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
It's a long weekend. I couldn't get
Well, it's on Thursday. I mean, is that fucking long?
Sorry?
How fucking long's the weekend if you can't go to a Thursday thing?
Well, it's the...
At what point do you stop calling it a long weekend and say you got the week off?
So, no, it's a pupil free day. on Friday.
Yeah, ours aren't getting that one. I mean, we do get some weird fucking pupil-free days that other people don't get, and a week extra holidays here and there. Yeah, we haven't got this Friday. But I mean, there's times like where
I know kids down the Gold Coast have got it.
Yeah. I think the cousins have got it, but yeah, no, we don't.
It's the teacher continuity thing, where for senior schools, because the way they do it nowadays is it's not a test, because these little fucking shit cunt snowflake kids can't take tests.
Oh, really?
It makes them nervous.
Okay, so what's it do?
It's got to study. And don't like pressure. And some kid, he stuck the fucking pencils up his nose and bashed his head on the desk and just ended himself.
Okay. So what's the day for then?
So you get all the work from your school.
Yeah.
And they send it over to another school.
Okay.
And those teachers mark your school's work.
Okay.
And then someone else does theirs. And it means that, you can't stack the deck and give all your kids A's, even though they're frittatas fucking licking the windows.
So it's like some sort
finger
of
in their buttholes.
Some sort of mark auditing sort of situation.
I think.
Yeah. I'm almost certain we don't have it. I mean, it's weird. Like we get sometimes in the middle of holidays, I'll get 3 weeks when every other kid we know gets 2 weeks, and but yeah, this one is one where they're on the wrong side.
That's probably due to the fucking depends which of the parish brothers is up on charges, or just fucking throw him an extra week.
Yeah,
they won't notice he's not there.
Yeah, not sure what the deal is, but fucking pressure.
No, love to, couldn't get tickets.
Yeah, fucking killer. Fucking pressure. He's got fucking in over the next 3 weeks. He's got to audition for the orchestra at the high school he's going to next year. Orchestra in 2 weeks' time to join them as of term 4 this year, and go there and rehearse with them on Wednesday, to be in the orchestra this year for high school. And then 2 weeks after that, he's got his year 10 level drumming test as well that he's got to learn all this shit for as well. So it's fucking crazy.
Fuck these.
So the pressure, it's actually, I was just thinking, that cunt, he's going through the fucking, he's going through the baptism of
fucking pressure.
of audition pressure.
Learn what a beat is. Go fucking boom ting.
Yeah. If only that easy.
Drummers.
If only that easy.
Drummers.
I mean, it's not like he has to play they Slipknot or something, but I mean,
there's fucking 808 machines.
Yeah, but I mean, they're all kind of old now, aren't they?
They don't fucking talk back to you either.
Yeah, but I mean, good drummers don't.
It's true.
Fuck them. True. The Broncos versus the Panthers, and you're not going, which is fucking disgraceful. No. But be that as it may,
look, if anyone's got spare tickets and doesn't need them or want them,
shout out to fucking Jai as well, who schooled me up. We were talking last week about this ticket situation with the Manly game, where it was you go to the site and it's got like a text area and it says how many tickets do you want. Type in the word. So you type in 4 FOUR. Then it goes.
Is that why you were only seeing one ticket?
And it goes through. Yeah, you see one ticket because it's you get a pack of as many tickets as you want.
No wonder you're fucking breeding drummers. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I mean, it was a blessing in disguise because fucking who wanted to go up to Sunshine Coast and watch that? But it's just it's a retarded fucking system though. You just go in there. And instead of some weird fucking type in spell out the number of tickets you want in a word, why don't you just go, I want a drop down of fucking 0 through 8.
Another ticket purchase experience.
In history. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, the Broncos. Jordan Kahu's out. Brodie Crofts, he's out. Offahan Gowie suspended. Payne Haas comes in as prop. Oates on the wing. Farnworth the centre. Isaac Luke comes back into the hooker. And Corey Pakes to the bench. Panthers, okay, so Kickout comes back from suspension to the back row, replaces Isaiah Yeo with fucking Guess. Isaiah Yeo himself, as always. I wonder how long until the counter starts on him. Like how many left he has. Or maybe it's probably like a per year thing. You probably only got 3 of those a year. But he's already had, this is at least his second, at least, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moses Leota starts as the prop. Fisher Harris lock. Tyrone May benched. Capewell replaces Burns on the bench. And Appy's in the reserves. I hear he's going to play. Panthers by somewhere in the vicinity. I believe in footy tips because that's the Thursday game. So it's the first game of the round. So it's the one where you put the actual margin in. You have to pick a number. And so for me, I've got Penrith by 50. is what my official tip was, and I expect them to come reasonably close to fulfilling that. I hope.
Yes.
Do you have anything to add to that, or you just say 50's good?
No. Can you score 100? Is there enough time?
Well, you can.
Yeah.
I remember I used to. I remember on Rugby League Live 1 or 2. Well, it might have been the first one. They had a demo. The demo came out and it was on PC as well as PlayStation. And so the demo was the Warriors versus, I think, maybe it was the Roosters. I think it was like, and so that you had Stacey Jones and Lance Hohire on the Warriors. Jeez. And if you ran the right line and did a step at the right time from the kickoff, you could just keep running it through down the left, just left of center every time. Yep. So like the maximum amount of tries you could score, like it was like 116 or 100 something, like thereabouts was the record. So that's in real life, that's as many as you can score.
Yes.
But you don't have Stacey Jones or Lance Hohire in your side, so perhaps 50 will be where it ends.
Okay.
Knights versus the Sharks at McDonald Jones Stadium. Chris Randall drops off. Pasami Solo suspended. He drops off. Phoenix Crossland and Brodie Jones come in. The Sharks. Townsend returns at halfback. Connor Tracy drops to the bench. Andrew Fafita to the reserves. This is a tough one because these are definitely two of the lesser sides remaining in the 8. Neither deserve to be there, but they're going to be there through events.
Yep.
And Sharks,
Chad,
I guess.
I reckon Chad is a fucking downgrade.
A downgrade from busted hamstrings.
No, who was a fucking kid that replaced him last week?
Yeah, well, he's in there. Yeah, I mean, it was a Trindle. Yeah, he's in there at 6 this week.
So
because they're still without
Moylan,
fucking Takeshi.
Oh yeah.
And
isn't that telling that Moylan hasn't been recalled?
No, he's fucked. I think, isn't he? I think they're saying. I think he's been dropped technically.
Yeah.
But I saw an interview with someone. It may have been Chad Townsend saying that his hamstrings have been fucked anyway for a couple of weeks.
Weeks?
Yeah, they say.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, years. I mean, career.
Yeah, look, you know what? Just based on their capacity to get up, I'm going to say the Sharks are going to niggle their way into a win here.
I'm saying the Sharks.
Yep.
I like Trindle too. He looks fucking great.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, the Rabbits take on the Storm. Rabbits, AJ back at fullback. Latrell's out for the season, sadly. Right when he was getting it together. Gagai replaces Masters into centres. Storm. Okay, so Sevy's out for the year. Branko Lee comes back into centre to replace him. Nelson Asafa Solomon, he's out with a calf injury. Tino moves to lock. Chris Lewis starts in the second row. Riley Jacks to the bench. Or should I say to the interchange? Fuck, it's a tough one. I mean, the Storm are starting. They're looking very Storm-like and professional at the moment. And they seem to. They're doing a great job. I mean, I feel like they've been through what's going to be their hardest part of the year.
Yep.
I mean, they had to deal with a lot of games without Munster over a couple of stints. They had to deal without Cameron Smith for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to get any tougher for them in terms of injuries than what they've been through already. Rabbits totally locked it together last week. I don't know how much Latrell is going to cost them because I'm just trying to think back to that game, and Latrell was great, but at the same time, he wasn't tested as a defensive fullback at all, really.
Correct.
And I'm trying to think about how much he chimed into a direct cause of the attack, and I don't think it was that much.
No.
So, fuck. This is a really tough game to pick, I think. I'm going to be honest.
Look, I'm going with Melbourne.
Yeah.
Just based on structure.
Yep. It's certainly a test for the Rabbitohs, to see if they actually are back,
Yeah, spot on.
But, look, the Rabbitohs are not without a chance in this game. They have a big chance. The Doggies take on the Titans. Here we fucking go again. It's like, Can you imagine this image? And there's like, my mental health is sitting on a couch as like this petite blonde girl, and standing behind her, these yoked fucking Bulldogs losses personified. And I just had this awful feeling that this is another one of those.
Oh, no. Yeah, Titans.
Look, the Titans, I feel like the Titans are going to win this game because I cannot recommend the Doggies. I cannot tip them. But I will gratefully accept with both hands and a full heart if they do decide to play for 80 minutes and win this fucking game. Because the Titans definitely have an inconsistent game in them.
I will take it and congratulate them next week fully.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
But I expect another... Look, if you're going to lose it though, Doggies, just lose 38-0 or something. It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, exactly.
And just so stop giving us this fucking 40 minutes of, daring to dream.
Exactly.
The Mighty Manly Seagulls take on the West Tigers. Okay, what do we got? Garrick is out for the year. Joel Thompson's out for the year, and that also will end his career in the National Rugby League as he is off to the Super League next year. Yes. Tremendous fellow, a great person to have in the game. He's a great man, great charity guy, great sort of mental health advocate and Indigenous advocate. Yep. So, I mean, as far as like having a guy like the type of person you would like at your club, he ticks all the boxes. A fucking great human being, and so it's just, and it's a shame for for him to, for that to be the end. Like to go through injury and not having an opportunity to come back. Yep. But I wish him all the best. Abbas Miski. First time this year, I think it's the second time ever, but first time this year, he'll be appearing in the side through the injury to Garrick. Mm-hmm. And Abbas Miski, who I will dub the Lebanese Mansour. And yes, I understand he's a clone of Josh Mansour.
Okay.
Also Lebanese though, but I want to call him the Lebanese Mansour just because of how preposterous it is for that to be his nickname.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so once again, Desi's playing he's playing games to the lineup. It's not gonna be the way that it is. In 18 this week, named Josh Schuster, another one of the young star players of the next generation. From what I've seen, it's very much like last week with Albert Hopewade, where he's not named in the side, but all the discussion in the lead up is like how this guy's making his debut, and you start to see all these highlights packages of the guy turn up online and everything. It's like the club's trying to ease try to appease the fan base by saying, look, we haven't named him in the 17, but don't just fucking chill. You've been calling for him to get his debut for about 3 months now, and it's going to happen this week. So fucking chill. So he'll be in there. I don't know what capacity, but I'm super excited to see him play because he's in the younger grades. He was like fucking like New South Wales 16s, 18s, hero. Scooped all the awards, for all the junior, sort of age things, representative teams and things like that. Yep. Highlights package is fucking insane. He's pretty solid guy. Like, I mean, he's pretty solid for like a 5'8". Like, he's a big boy. I think his future probably lies, could be like a back rower or a lock or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not sure where they're going to put him in the side. I mean, if they start him, I'd love him to start at 6. And then get cussed into 14 and then get Croker the fuck out of here. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
But it's possible maybe Croker gets the fuck out of here and they start him at 14. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I mean, he is seen to be a long-term 5'8" for the club.
Yeah. And
just been re-signed recently after, interest from several other clubs. But it's great, great to see him in, and he's got a lot of skills for a big fella. Mm-hmm. Who else we got here? West Tigers. Okay, so Dewey moves to centre. That's pretty fucking like, emasculating. Like, has one nightmare. Been pretty fucking good otherwise though.
Yep.
Really. And he shifted immediately. Just like Madge feels like he does a lot of reactionary shit, which is not great for team confidence or like individual player confidence.
Yeah.
Like it's like one bad thing happens, and boom, you cut or you move away. So they got Umbai at fullback. Talau's cut from the 17, so Kapoa goes to the wing. And then that obviously Dewey comes into the centres there. Garlic sauce at prop. Eisenhuth benched. And Sean Bloor is out of the squad entirely. Look, I saw the betting, and I saw Manly were heavy favourites for this game, like to the tune of about $1.30 to $2.65 or something fucking preposterous. Manly are going to win a fucking game in my fucking in the next fucking little while. Believe me. You just fucking. I mean, at the start of the season, with the best 17, this side is fucking amazing, but the big weakness is. There's no depth. So then...
Yeah, true.
But when the depth gets wiped out thrice and you're into like literally the last outside back in the 30 is coming onto the field starting this week, there's literally nothing left. The cupboard is fucking bare.
Yeah, true.
When you've blown through... When you've got no depth, but you've blown through 2 to 3 layers of depth in the back line, there's fucking like... It is, the cupboard is bare. They got nothing like Miskey. I've seen people fucking like going, when you're getting Miskey into the side. Do you not know fucking who Miskey is? Have you not seen him play before? He had a fucking blinder against East in a trial game at the start of last season and scored a double or a hat trick or something. He's played one first grade game that I can remember, and it was at Broncos Magic Weekend last year. He had a couple of tries disallowed then, but he's like fucking Mansour immediately post face-off operation. Like he's pretty fucking average and not that fast. And he's gonna come out this weekend and fucking and match up on Nofaluma and score. Well, no, he's not because he's on the other side of TWiL. So
the fucking Tigers, they had every reason to get up last week, and couldn't find a way to make it respectable in the end.
Yeah, I just feel like they've got all of this fucking... This week there's been a lot of media scrutiny, the type that makes them ashamed and...
Is that going to calm them down though, or do they still have this fucking angsty teenage?
No, that's what I think it'll be. I think they'll be up for it, and they'll be and I think they'll be grubs like they were last week as well.
Yep.
But I'm just in my mind. I'm just trying to think what's happening out there on the left for Manly, and. Like who's taking advantage of Nofaluma and PJ essentially?
Yeah,
and maybe Hake Scorpio gets a hat trick. Who fucking knows?
That's it.
I have no confidence in tipping him this week. The Raiders versus the Roosters at GIO. What do we got here? Papali and Havili named in 8 and 9. Louis and Starling on the bench. Harawira and Naira replaces Timoko on the in the 17. The Roosters. Keary is in. That seems kind of quick, doesn't it? Sonny Bill Williams returns in jumper 17 when Farmer Sealy drops out. Cordner is named to start. Nat Butcher's bench. Crichton and Orbison named as reserves. They're almost back from injury, apparently. Look, people, just an ethereal term of people in quotes, would like this game to be the return of Sonny Bill Williams. And I'm not drinking any haterade or anything. He was a fucking great player 7 years ago when he was last in the NRL. I mean, really, are you fucking excited to see that? Are you as excited to see Sonny Bill Williams return enough that if you have Foxtel, I don't know if you do or not, that you will select the Sonny Bill cam that will be following him around?
No, not at all.
Which has been done for the second time following the time they did it when Jared Hayne returned from the NFL.
Shit like that is firmly planted at the fucking retiree market, who still think it's a fucking miracle of technology that they can select a camera angle when they're playing. And will be doing it probably half for the novelty of they can control the fucking camera.
It would drive me fucking crazy to know that I was Truman Showed. I couldn't do a thing. Couldn't call someone a cunt. Yeah. Couldn't blow my nose. Couldn't, nothing. Yeah. And everything you do is microscoped.
Yeah. Who knows? I
am having so much trouble. I'm sure that East fans are like, fuck yeah, he was great for us. We love him, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
It's so great to see him back. Fans of any other club
don't care.
I can't see anyone who gives a fuck about this.
It's not even like there's any hate about it. Like I saw
there's no hate, I just don't care.
Originally there was some of that shit about, how do they fit him under the cap or yada, yada, yada. Or why should he go there and not to the Dogs?
Yeah.
All of that shit's gone now and people are just like, okay, cool. Fucking come and play.
A lot of people are like, that's right. Yeah, he did come back. He was that is weird. He hasn't played yet.
He was a guy that was good when the rules were different.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff he used to do that made him good, can't do anymore.
Shoulder charge took half his game away.
Exactly. So
yeah.
He's
care.
A fucking poor man's kick out.
Look, I still see the Roosters are obviously very good at the moment, and if the Raiders want to do this, not turn up until the second half thing, then the game may be beyond them.
Yep.
But also we go back to the last time these two teams played, and the Roosters had this game very comfortably in their hand.
Yep.
And then the Raiders sort of just went, bang, bang, and turned it around. And although I remember at the time I sort of remarked that it felt like the Roosters were still going to win the game, but it just, the last passes was forward or, whatever. It just never happened.
Yep.
So, look, I don't know. I'm favouring the Roosters. But, like the Souths game this weekend, we've actually got some games that on paper look to be extremely close games and extremely revealing games, potentially, about the chances of teams to go further in the competition.
Yes.
Warriors versus the Eels, Central Coast Stadium. What do we got here? Okay, George Jennings and Daniel Alvaro are out of the Warriors side this weekend, so they do not face their club. Eliasa Katoa is injured, so Beale comes into the wing. Curran and Papali to the bench, and Murchie starts in the second row.
Mm-hmm.
The Eels, Jai Field replaces the injured Dylan Brown in the halves. Nukore returns to the bench, and Andrew Davey drops to the reserves. Well, this is a big test for the old Warriors and their current carefree, spirited performances.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The Eels, the Eels are going to bounce back this week because the Eels were embarrassed last week.
Yes.
Having said that, I still don't rate the Eels. Can the Warriors, can they actually continue this little sort of carefree run they're on at the moment? I'll tell you what, if the Eels lost this week, put the fattest fucking...
line, fork in them, whatever you want to say.
Get a Sharpie, colour every bit of ink in, liquid paper the fucking lot of it over.
Yeah.
Set it on fire.
Yeah.
They're fucking done.
I don't think there'll be easy beats 2 weeks in a row.
No.
So, no, got to tip Parramatta here.
The Cowboys take on the Dragons up there at the Abattoir. Second shittest surface in the game. Okay, so what have we got here with the Cows? The Jake Clifford comes in to replace Morgan in the halves.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan with a calf injury. Tabuai Fido onto the wing. Holmes to fullback. Drinkwater to 5'8", and RC benched. Granville drops to the reserves. SR Masters into the centres, with Lemieux out of the 21. Cohen Hess suspended, and so Gavin Cooper takes his place, which is a fucking great swap any day of the week. The Dragons, Fui Maono is back from suspension onto the bench. Trent Merrin is out.
No,
surely
Morgan.
The Dragons.
Yeah, no
surely.
Morgan, and really, the Dragons hadn't been so terrible, except for all of their attack and all of maybe.
They've been better than the media than the media around them has suggested. I mean, it was funny when they had that. Obviously Mary. The sum total of his contributions to coaching that club over many years obviously dictated that he, was unsuccessful and deserved to be sacked.
Mm-hmm.
However, based on the metrics that they gave him earlier in the season, where it was like you got this many games to turn things around, and they fucking pretty much did and won 3 out of 4, and we're competitive in many other games. I don't think they're as bad as they haven't been going as bad as the media surrounding them would suggest.
Yeah.
Cowboys fucking tough. Did you see that thing on social media yesterday with the Cowboys?
Don't say mean things to us and hurt our feelings.
Yeah. We got feelings. Don't hurt our feelings.
Yeah. And you know what?
We do this for yous. We do this for free.
Yeah. If my mum cooked dinner like the Cowboys play rugby league, I'd say the same things to
her. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like the Dragons could and should win this game.
They should. The positives for the Cowboys had been, Michael Morgan came back and had one good game after he was shit for his return game.
Yeah, an awful game and then a good game. Yeah, great game. Yeah.
And the only other person that's been putting in for him consistently is Cohen Hess, and he's suspended.
Yep.
So yeah, Dragons.
Okay, mailbag this week. Hammers first up. On current form, who should be Queensland fullback? AJ Brimson certainly has to be in the discussion. I promised him that we would have the discussion. It's going to be a short discussion.
Should AJ Brimson be in it?
No.
Okay, I agree.
Look, trolling aside, should hasn't got anything to fucking do with it anyway.
No.
End of the day, Callum Ponga is going to be the fucking fullback.
Yeah.
There is no discussion whatsoever about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's his time.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, maybe he could get brought in to see if he can get some of that fucking done mysticism rubbed off on him or something.
AJ Brimson is a modern day Darius Boyd.
So
he will play Origin on a wing, maybe, and be fucking thankful for it.
And be served up an absolute smorgasbord of tries with no hands being laid on him.
No, he won't, because he's not playing in the Greg Inglis, Cooper Cronk, Jonathan Thurston, Billy Slater.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he'll get fuck all, and he'll like it.
You'll get nothing. You'll get nothing but Series L's.
Fuck Queensland and everything to do with them.
Yeah, and Ponga, thankfully, because, I mean, if 2020... apart from the dangers of bat meat, the other thing that the 2020 has taught us is that that Ponga is a fucking coward under the high ball.
Yes.
If you get him up around the shoulders or maybe slightly higher on the down low, you can take him out of a game completely.
Spot on.
Ian, Tom Starling has the highest winning percentage of any player in the NRL with a 10-game minimum. When will he usurp Cameron Smith as the premier hooker of the NRL era? Well, look, I don't know if that will ever happen.
No.
To be honest, I mean, maybe Cameron Smith might retire and then he might have his chance. But at the end of the day, he's a very good third choice.
Yes.
Yeah, and as a result, he's probably going to go to another club that needs a hooker more.
Yep.
And ply his trade there, and no doubt fulfill his duties with great success and to great renown. Aaron, I'm ready to concede that the Tigers may not make the finals this year. Many have said we have not won against good teams, and they may be right. This year we've beaten the Broncos, Dragons, Cowboys, Sharks, and Bulldogs twice. The shit teams.
Yes, you have.
So that entire comment was just to troll Sharks fans, essentially. Tim said, with all the hype about Penrith and the pain and suffering of COVID and fans having to put up with that fucking hashtag Geary of Cleary shit, making our eyes and ears bleed. When Penrith don't win the competition this year, I propose Stepdad should add to all his social media pages hashtag I love Pascoe. Or he could at least run a couple of hashtags that say something like hashtag God of Footy. Ha ha ha, pick the option, hashtag fuck Penrith, hashtag promote the choke.
So what do I get out of this bet?
Essentially nothing. I guess you either get to have your Yeary of Cleary thing fulfilled.
But it is.
Well, no. I mean,
so hang on. I get to have something that I get anyway.
Well, but the suggestion is if they don't make or win the grand final, then that all comes to naught.
It's the Yeary of Cleary anyway. It's an over-encompassing philosophy and way of being. And your attitude doesn't surprise me. Because you're obviously somebody who's not used to enjoying anything in your life.
I forget who Tim supports. I want to say maybe he's a Canberra supporter, maybe?
Oh, well, that fucking explains everything.
I'm just guessing. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but...
That fucking explains everything.
So I guess he likes milk.
Yeah.
They like the milk.
That's it. They do. You also like fucking weird white headgear wearing cunts that look like they're crying all the time. that does weird shit like take their pants off in front of disabled 8-year-olds. Like you know, that's fucking great that you want to be a Make-A-Wish friend there, Croaky. But keep it fucking PG.
Keep it to friendship alone.
It's this poor fucking kid is dying. Like this kid is dying, and his dad thinks that he's written to the fucking Starlight Foundation, but because he's not that tech savvy, what he's actually written to is starlightfoundation.catholic.edu, and the next thing you know, fucking pedo Croker's there taking his dacks off in front of him and making him sniff them. Also, you negotiate the way Jared Croker looks after sick kids. Fucking poorly. Try again next week.
This is hilarious if he's not a Canberra fan.
Well, it makes it worse.
Chris said, with news that Jack de Belin faces trial in November, has him still being involved at the Dragons been a distraction and made a mockery of the no-fault stand-down rule? Well, I think the stand-down rule, it's literally just playing, right? I mean,
it is.
Yeah, so...
That is, and it's up to the individual club to do what they want.
And I think it has been a distraction because, I mean, what we were hearing was that it was a distraction, and he was carving up the team of possibles
as 6.
Yeah, he was so that's pretty distracting.
He's like a rapey Jack Whiten.
Yeah, and then there's all the alleged raping, and that's pretty distracting too.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I imagine it would
and in all seriousness, I'm not surprised that the rift came between from the players' partners and spouses.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if you were married to a person of colour, and I came in here wearing a fucking White Lives Matter t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know? You can say, oh, well, you know, this is just something we do and it's like work and he's allowed his personal beliefs and this or whatever. But rightly fucking so, that would cause some friction with your imaginary person of colour partner.
Yes.
You know?
Oranga's people of colour.
Well done on that fucking Beyonce-like booty. But
they call it a badonkadonk.
It's the whitest thing I've ever heard. You got a guy who's, stat rape.
Yes.
Is not a fucking joke.
And the alleged details that came out about the commission of said rape and everything made something that's bad, like even worse.
Now, I will get that this is not a comment on his guilt or innocence.
No.
What I'm saying is that rape, and especially statutory rape, which for those who may not know, pretty much means you hold someone down so your friends can have a go as well after you've raped them.
Mm.
That's the top legal expert that you'll get from any major law firm. So save your money. Rape is a big enough issue in the community that is still going to cause distractions. Mm-hmm. So to have somebody that is a constant reminder of that in and around your club is 100% going to cause friction.
Correct. Hamish said, I'm sure it'll be talked about Benji and not getting another contract at the Tigers. My question is, which team, if any, should take him? This is the thing. I feel like only someone like the Bulldogs has probably got...
There are two sorts of teams. One is somebody who needs coverage. And exactly like it was what Wayne Bennett did with him at the Broncos.
Yes.
That is the perfect Benji Marshall role. Come on in. We have young halves. Mm-hmm. We want you to cover for them if they get selected for rep teams, or if they get a bit of a niggle, or if I may want to rest them. During the year. Or teams that need to currently pay overs to get somebody to their club.
Yep.
Funnily enough, one of those clubs is the West Tigers.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be a bad cover and mentor for the Ash Taylors of the world. What's happening up in North Queensland? Morgan seems to be a little bit biscuity in his old age.
Yeah. The thing about it's basically
Benji's on minimum.
The Benji thing is a dilemma because I think that he probably shouldn't play on as much. Although I'd like to see him play on at the Tigers. Outside of the Tigers, I don't think he should play on. I think it'd be a shame if he ended his career outside of the Tigers. But at the same time, the clash with that viewpoint is the thing that makes me sort of pause is that he shouldn't finish at the Tigers when they've cunted him like that and not giving him the opportunity to make it his decision and go out with all the fanfare that a legend of the game playing for that club deserves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a two conflicting things there.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just not sure. Toto says, does Jerry make a return after his 4-year ban? Probably, if he's hasn't become a patched in 1% or something. Yeah. Which, let's be honest, I mean, it's not out of the question. Nathan says, how excited will Real Dad and all Tigers fans be this weekend? What a great time for them finally seeing their team play in September. How will Real Dad be celebrating such a momentous occasion? # fuck the Broncos. And it wasn't until that message that I actually realised, oh, fuck yeah, with the lateness of this season and everything, the Tigers get to play in September. Outstanding. Oh, thank you for bringing my attention. I hadn't even considered it until I saw your message. Matthew said, how much of a dumb fuck, insular and typical Aussie rugby league decision would it be to permanently put Origin at the end of the season? The NRL is aware there's a fucking World Cup booked in for the end of 2021. Are they also oblivious to the importance of Super Leagues in the NRL? Following the Rona looking outwards is more important than ever. I agree. I don't think they'll permanently put Origin at the end of the season, really. Just, given the factors that you mentioned. I mean, all that international stuff always happens at the end of the season. There's no other time for it. But Volandis seems to do what Volandis wants to do.
That's it.
Another Matthew says, to continue with the misery that is the Broncos this year, I think they're in a lose-lose situation with their next coach. Pick the not qualified Kevy Walters and continue the losing streak, or pick someone else and keep the old boys and Courier Mail offside. Either way, the rot continues. And long may it rain.
Agree.
Gary sent us this photograph of the back cover of Darius Boyd's book, which I believe was recently released. I think he was doing the rounds for it last week or the week before.
Was he?
There's some quotes, though, from other people on the back at the top back of the cover on the blurb.
Yes.
First quote, Darius Boyd has never settled for anything less than his best. He's authentic. He's committed. That's what makes him. He's definitely one of a kind. Wayne Bennett.
You sure there's not an apostrophe son?
Second one. He's a player that never lets his team down. Billy Slater.
Oh, man.
Watch last week's game, you fucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I admittedly, those quotes were, they obviously needed lead time to print them out, but watch the games last year when he did the same as this last week's game, man.
I've seen Darius Boyd in a corporate setting multiple times, and he is a fucking mental pygmy.
Yeah.
He is unengaging. Yep. He has dead shark eyes. He can't engage in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He is an unengaged and unengaging speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big ones was one that was to do with mental health.
Yep.
Could not have been more obvious that he needed to get in and get out, and not mingle or speak to anyone, or the great unwashed.
Yeah.
And overheard him pretty much saying as much on the phone as he was leaving.
Yeah. That's it. Full time for episode 366. Thanks for listening, everyone. As always, you can interact with us on Twitter. So follow at TWI League. Facebook, the community lives at #TWiL Nation. That's facebook.com/groups/TWiL Nation. And also on facebook.com/This Week in League. Get in there, hit the like button, share shit around. Help us spread the good word. And if you want to support the show, make sure you drop us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. And if you want to go the extra mile, digital membership still available and can be picked up anytime for only $3.99 a month. We're recording our 25th member episode this week, tonight. In fact, directly after this. The tipping chart, I don't fucking know where it is. I had it in this document, but it does some strange things sometimes. I know that I'll make King Kong was still on top, and I'll get his lead by 1 back again. We'll revise that chart again next week. And I think that's it. I don't have anything else here to go through. So, I was out the back, just doing some spring cleaning on the weekend, and I unearthed a couple of bits and pieces of merch from over the years. Some things like refs fault scarves and a couple of hoodies and things like that. So I may stick those up. So stay tuned for that. I'm not sure what the sizes are or anything. I just saw them, but I know I saw a green hoodie and a black hoodie out there. So who knows? But I'll get that sort of stuff up. But otherwise, that is it. That's all I've got for this week. Anything else?
No. 12
right, then. In that case, see you next week.
Later.